Ex-terrorists, Al-Qaeda in Syria being led by who? CIA. This is from Paul Joseph Watson. And this has to do with former Al-Qaeda member Sheikh Nabil Naim. He's released an astounding video testimony in which he asserts that the leader of the Jabhat al-Nusra, the primary fighting force in Syria attempting to topple Bashar al-Assad, is a CIA operative. He said, and this is a quote, "I personally believe the leader of the Nusra army who declared his support for Amin al-Zawahiri is a CIA operative," states the Sheikh. Naim also identified Al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri as a U.S. double agent. No duh. There was a story a few years ago that Fox released that talks about, was it Zakari? No, Anwar al-Awlaki, that's who it was. Anwar al-Awlaki died at the Pentagon right after 9/11. Then he became the #2 of Al-Qaeda. Then we had to take him and his son out with a drone strike in Yemen without even getting him a trial. His son was only 16 years old, obviously a threat to America. Moving back on to the story, Naim states that the U.S. has been allowing Al-Qaeda to fight in Afghanistan for 18 years and have funded and supported us, adding that members of the militant group are being manipulated. And he also put out a warning saying, listen guys, after America takes over Syria, they're going to come after you guys. So you're fighting for America, and we're going to go to that video now.
أنتم مخدوعون وأنتم أدوات تستخدمكم أمريكا لتحقيق أغراضها في المنطقة، وهي تمزيق الوطن العربي إلى دويلات عن طريق الحروب الطائفية، ويكون مصيركم إما القتل وإما السجن مثلنا. فبعد أن عدنا من أفغانستان تم اعتقالنا بحجة أننا إرهابيون. طب ما أمريكا سايبانا بنقاتل 14 سنة.
You can watch the full video in the article on Infowars.com. Ex-terrorist Al-Qaeda in Syria being led by CIA, and that's from Paul Joseph Watson, a tireless fighter in the Infowar. We actually had him on here yesterday doing the Infowars Nightly News. I think his first since he's gotten back from Bilderberg, and it was great to have him on. And he had a story talking about how is Snowden a double agent, which is a very interesting prospect considering the amount of information he got and the way he got it and the way he's acting. I personally believe that Edward Snowden is a whistleblower. He might have been profiled and they might have given him this information in order, and knowing that he would go and do this after being profiled by the CIA. Anytime you become an employee of the CIA, you go through rigorous tests, psychological tests, personality tests, behavior tests. Anytime you get up into a high level like that, those types of tests are going on. So they can identify who would be a potential whistleblower, who won't follow orders, who won't torture, who won't arrest, secret arrest and indefinitely detain people. They know who to out at the right time. So that's the way people are being manipulated. This is from Kurt Nimmo. Judge outlaws First Amendment in bank graffiti case. And this is a guy who was going around on chalk and using chalk to write in front of Bank of America stuff like "No thanks, big banks, shame on Bank of America." Really hardcore messages like that. Well, anyway, a high-ranking security bank manager contacted the police, and the San Diego City attorney decided to prosecute this man here. His name is Jeff Olson, charged with 13 counts of vandalism and faces time in prison for expressing his opinion on a public sidewalk using chalk that will wash away in the rain. Judge Howard Shore said the messages were directed at the banking industry have nothing to do with the First Amendment. In light of the fact that it's a clear case of case law, vandalism is not a legitimate exercise of free speech rights. It's really irrelevant what the message is or what the content is. But then Nimmo goes on to point out children are not arrested for drawing on sidewalks with washable chalk, and citizens putting up signs for garage sales or private businesses in public common areas are rarely arrested or prosecuted. So this looks like a case of the city going after and protecting the big banks and then not allowing it to be a case of First Amendment. We go now to this clip where you can actually hear from the words himself, Jeff Olson, on the horrible things he wrote on the sidewalk.
A North Park man is looking at more than a decade behind bars for using washable chalk to protest the banking industry.
I wrote, "No thanks, big banks." I wrote, "Shame on Bank of America."
For Olson, it was about free speech.
In light of the fact that it's clear from the case law that vandalism is not a legitimate exercise of free speech rights, it really is irrelevant what the message is or what the content is.
It's irrelevant because I'm most likely funded by Bank of America or cronies in that system. Did I just say that? I don't actually know if the judge in question, his name is Howard Shore, has any connections to big banking or big business. But I wouldn't be surprised. We actually ran a special about that, how judges are sponsored like NASCAR drivers by giant companies because they don't make enough in their salaries that we pay. So they have to be sponsored by giant corporations.
Now you can watch Alex Jones live at Infowars.com/show.
You'll find links to all of our content there and a free 15-day trial for Prison Planet TV.
You can also browse the network, the Infowars Nightly News,
and over 60 movies and documentaries all together in one place.
You can watch the Alex Jones radio show live as it happened.
So check it out, Infowars.com/show.